There is no peace for a child of Bhaal. You've learned this lesson time and again, as all who are close to you suffer because of your tainted blood. When John Irenicus fell, you had hoped for some sort of respite, but peril follows you like pestilence. The time of the prophecy has come. 5 powerful Bhaal spawn have arisen, leading their armies across the Sword Coast, slaughtering their weaker siblings and innocents alike in a wave of massive destruction. Like wildfire, panic spreads before the armies of the 5, and those suspected of being children of Bhaal are cast out and revived. Even in Soldanesselar, unease grows into fear at your presence. Queen Elysim urges you to visit a sacred grove where the ancients might shed light on your fate. You wonder what part you will play in the dreaded prophecy, and how long before its culmination devours your soul. Only one thing seems certain. So long as Bhaal's throne of blood stands empty, chaos shall reign.
All right, hello and welcome back to the channel. We made it. Oh my god, man. You know, it doesn't matter how many times I play this game, which isn't an incredible amount, as I've said before. God, it feels like a wild ride, especially when you start from Baldur's Gate 1 into Shadows of Amn, into Siege of Dragonspear, then into Shadows of Amn, and then on to Throne of Bhaal. Woof. Woof. But, yeah, anyway, man, we made it. So, to anyone just joining, again, welcome, and thank you for watching the video. We are bringing our Cavalier playthrough into the Throne of Bhaal. And a couple of things I wanted to mention for anyone who's just joining is that the mods that we're going to be using, we have several, and unfortunately I installed 2 of them much later on after I think I installed them in Shadows of Amn. When you install mods in this game, you have to put them in a specific order, and when I installed the latest mods, one that changed up the way my spell menu looks, it's called Bub Spell Menu, and then I can't pull it up right now. I have another one that will show me character sheets that shows what buffs, the stats, the resistances, the special abilities of all of the characters on the screen, include my characters and enemies included, so we could take a look at their resistances, what their immunities are, what their special abilities are, and things of that nature. And for the people that did watch my Shadows of Amn, my Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 videos, or playthroughs rather, you can I didn't know what the code was, because if you pull up the game console, you could type in codes, and you can get items, you give yourself experience, all kinds of stuff. We don't do that, but the reason I mention that is because at the bottom where it shows what their special abilities are, things that they could do, it's in code, and I don't know the codes because I don't use the console, and I don't know the console. I don't know any of that stuff, and I was struggling to say. I knew that they had some special abilities, and my memory was very splotchy. So in this playthrough, when it comes to bosses, I am going to look up what their special abilities are so I can relay that information in a much more clear way than saying like, oh, well, this shows 49%, the SPL.save.DPL 47. I'm pretty sure that's a Vorpal hit because I know this character has a chance to do whatever. It's like, that's I watched that on my videos while I was uploading my Baldur's Gate 2 Shadows of Amn playthrough, and I found it cringy. I was very disappointed with it. I'm not overly happy how my Baldur's Gate 2 Shadows of Am playthrough went in my abysmal commentary on it. So instead of that, I am just going to look up all of their special abilities when we pull up their character sheet from probably the wiki and just read it to you. That way it's clear-cut information, and it's information that I have in the game already. I just find that more entertaining instead of listening to me trip over my own feet. So, but yeah, anyway. So, we are going to fire up our game. So, quick intro here. For the people just joining us, we are doing a Cavalier playthrough. Our main character, his name is Thalic. He is a tip of the hat to the very first online character that I made back in 1994 when I first got the internet and started getting into, well, the internet and games and stuff of that nature. So, yeah, Thalic, he is a paladin with the Cavalier kit. And the Cavalier, the actually, I'll demonstrate one of the mods. And speaking of the mods, I'll tell you what all the mods that I have. The first mod that I have is, and this is one of the first ones that should have been installed, because the game will crash, and Baldur's Gate is one of those games, if you install mods in there and you install them in the incorrect order, it can mess with you. So if you watch my Baldur's Gate 2 playthrough, after I installed this mod and installed the mod that changes up how my spells look, you can tell this probably looks different than yours. There's no more clicking through the bars. It organizes it nice and neat. And that's really, really awesome, and it organizes it by level. So when I installed these 2 mods to show the character sheets and to change this up, I installed them last because I had discovered them much later. I cannot use my level 9 spell Shape Change and change it to a Mind Flayer because it will crash my game. If I pull up, if I go to this menu and after I level up and then I hit the, let's go to one of my, if I go to one of my clerics and I go to their level up menu and I do I click level up, I do that, and then I hit the P key to go to the priest scroll, for some reason it'll crash me. For some reason I missed a spell slot on him. Okay. Yeah, and so I would need to reinstall all the mods that I have and put this overlay and the bub spell menu at the install them first, install them last, but I wouldn't be able to continue this playthrough, so I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Let's give him another armor of fate. Jesus, I missed another one. I don't know, man. Do acid corrosion in here. Man, how did I miss these spell slots? Good Lord, man. Okay. I like the generation. Anyway, so the mods that... Oh, I'm sorry. Keeping it in order here. Thalic is our main character. He's a Cavalier, Paladin. And the Cavalier kit makes me immune to being charmed. I can't be frightened. And I am immune to poison. I have 100% innate poison immunity, which is awesome. Next, we have Animan. He is our wielder of the Flail of Ages. Oh, and Thalic is our 2-handed specialization character. I regret not getting spears because those are two-handers. We got quarterstaff, halberd, two-handed sword, two-handed weapon style, and then two weapon style and two-handed weapon style. I did go with long swords and katanas on him just in case we needed to go sword and board and wield a specific item. That's why I did that. Kind of regret not going spear and just keeping him all two-hander, but I don't know. We did what we did. Next, we have Animan. He is our fighter cleric, level 34 cleric, level 7 fighter. And as I said, he is our wielder of the Flail of Ages and basically sort of our tank. Next, we have Herr Delis, who is our bard. And he is our wielder of Cromfair, the Warhammer. And pretty much everything else that he could use. So, you know, the Celestial Fury was a big one. That was such a fun weapon to use. And after that, we're using Imowen as our main caster. She's the one who's got the Staff of the Magi, Amulet of Power, and Robe of Vecna. Even though Nalia is the exact same thing as Imowen, Imowen's a ball spawn. Nalia's not, and Imowen's been with us practically from the first moment. So once we saved her in Baldur's Gate 2 Shadows of Bomb, I just had to keep her because I decided to do pretty much a good playthrough. But yeah, so she's going to be our main mage. And next, oh, she's a mage thief, by the way, so she's also our main thief. Next, we have Nalia, who is basically the same thing, except she's a lower level thief and a higher level mage than Imowen. And she's a higher level mainly because Imowen, we didn't get her till late in Baldur's Gate 2, because well, I don't think it's a spoiler at this point. She gets kidnapped right away, and you don't get her till much later on in Baldur's Gate 2. And lastly, you have Aerie. She is our main support. She's a cleric mage. And I pretty much use her for support. Like, her contingencies and everything are rebuffs, things of that nature. So when we are short on time or someone gets dispelled, we can buff them quickly with her. That's kind of her main shtick. But the thing about Aerie is, man, she doesn't get level 9 stuff till late. She does not get a lot of high level spells, but she's an interesting character as far as her multi-class goes. And I just wanted to take her to the end. I really wanted to put her sequencers, set them up in a beneficial way, because you could put cleric spells in her mage sequencers, which is nice. But as far as the mods go, and I know this is really starting to drag on, as I said, we've got the Bubs spell menu, which organizes our spells in a beautiful way, which is great, and it organizes them by level. Then you have the overlay, which we just demonstrated. And I've got rogue rebalancing, which essentially makes rogues much more dangerous. We have Tweaks Anthology, which it made some adjustments to the game. It moved certain items around in the game. For example, the Robe of Vecna that Imowen has, you could purchase this robe, which is just so amazing. You could purchase this robe right out of the gate for like 23,000 gold as soon as you start Baldur's Gate 2 and get out of the tutorial dungeon. You could purchase this in the shop that's right there. And that's totally fine. I've done it 100,000 times, but what I did was in the Tweaks Anthology, I moved this from the vendor to a lich at level 5 of Watcher's Keep. So I had to go find it. There's another helmet that we unfortunately did not find, because I can't remember where I moved it to, that gives you a simulacrum that you could purchase in that same shop, which is big, and it's great for Herr Delis because you can make a copy of him and then use his bard song on it or other abilities and whatnot. And And I don't need to explain Simulacrum. It's great. And what else do I have? I have Sword Coast Stratagems, which basically makes the game so much better, but so much harder. And in Sword Coast Stratagems, you can come down here and you can fine tune the difficulty of pretty much everything. So here you can see I've got the mage generalized or the general mages on hardcore. And what they do is it gives them access to their full set of spells, which at this point, obviously, they're going to all have level 9 spells. They're going to use them in smart ways. They're going to target the correct people. They have a chance of sensing invisible opponents and using ways to reveal them. It gives them access to all of their HLAs, things of that nature. Lets them use Melf's Minute Meteors. But this is their generalized section. Their precast section, we put it on Insane. Mages cast any defensive spells with a duration of at least one round per level. Again, we're maxing everything out on them. I mean, I won't go through each one of these, but you have the basic all the way down to Insane, and each one adds certain things that they could do. You can leave it on default if you want. But, you know, basic, improved, tactical. So every time you go down, Insane adds everything. And then the HLAs, we put it on Legacy of Bhaal. Any mage in the game capable of using 9th level spells uses high level abilities. And then same thing with priests, like your clerics and everything. We put them on maximum, and everything else is on tactical, I think, with the exception of Beholders. That one's on hardcore. The Beholder Hive we put on Insane. Ascension, we have everything on tactical. But that's our Ascension mod. We'll get to that in a second. But SCS, you can fine tune your difficulties. You can see our difficulty is set to Insane. But so SCS, things are far more intelligent. It is, in my opinion, the best mod of any game ever created. And they know who to target, what to target. It's great. And then now that we're in Throne of Bhaal, we have the Ascension mod as well, which changes up a ton of things. And it works very well with Sword Coast Stratagems and makes everything so much more difficult. What it does is, like, for example, this first boss fight that we're going to come across with Ilisera, right here. You fight her in the base game, it's mind-numbingly easy. Mind-numbingly easy. And I'll explain the differences once we actually get to the fight and pull up our character sheet. But it changes a lot of the fights. It adds enemies to the fights. It gives them more special abilities. It changes the end fight in a way that it changes the very final fight in a way that makes a lot more sense. It's a lot harder, and it's so much more fun. Ascension mod is just a difficulty increase mod that I think is so well done, and it's on par with SCS. So I encourage you to look it up and try it for yourself. I won't go through the whole thing so we can just actually get started here. Okay, so what do we have? Oh yeah, we have the Amulet of the Seldarine. I need to put that on. This is what Elisine gave us after we defeated Irenicus. It gives me the 10% magic resistance that Thalic already has from his neck piece, but it adds 1 to saving throws, so we're going to put that on. Because we were just wearing the 10% magic resistance. Animan is immune to poison neck, and we still are rocking these damn globes. I said I'd look those up. I never looked them up. I'm getting tired of looking at them. Goodbye. Oh, you need to put your Belm on. There we go. Okay. Yeah, and Herdelis is our wielder of the Ring of Gax, making him immune to Disease poison. You know what? I could probably put that on Thalic too. But being immune to poison on him is great. But that's a 20% magic resistance. Uh, how important is that poison? Because Thalic is 75%. We put another 10% magic resistance on him. Oh, that seems so good. You know what? You know what? Hair Delise, buddy. Thalic's the main character. Let's do that. If need be, we could look at that. 85. 85 magic resistance. Naturally, well, not naturally through, abilities, but since Thalic is a Cavalier or a Paladin, we don't have access to a lot of the like mage buffs and stuff like that. I think I like that better. We'll leave it like that. Poor Hair Delise won't be immune to poison anymore or disease, but I don't know, man. Sorry about your luck. But hey, you do have a Ring of Regeneration and a lot of cool toys. So, who else has what? I think you're fine for the moment. Yeah, you're fine. Ah, okay. So right now we're keeping the shield of reflection on Aerie because it'll reflect missiles back to the user, so that way, she won't be interrupted while she's trying to do things from like heal or whatever from range characters. Because range characters with SCS and Ascension, they know to target uh, people like Aerie. So making her, we've got the reflection shield on her, and we also have the um, cloak of reflection on her. So anything that's electrical will be bounced back to the source, makes her completely immune to electric. And I never used them, but the etherealness, where is immune to normal weapons and spells may still be cast, but the and weapons may still be used. But the etherealness once per day, what that does is it's an improved invisibility. It makes you immune to all magical and non-magical weapons up to +5. It gives you 50% elemental, physical, and magic damage resistance. Immune to abjuration, conjuration, enchantment, evocation, divination, and it can't be dispelled. And I never used it. I just never used it. But it's useful for sure. And I can't remember if we can pair that with the Cloak of Non-Detection or the Spell of Non-Detection, but regardless, I'm pretty sure that you can. And we found this Drow chainmail that's made out of a different material. It was designed for scouts who regularly travel the surface, therefore it will not decay when exposed to direct sunlight. But it doesn't provide as much armor as the Drow, but it gives you an improved spellcasting speed by 1 and 5% magic resistance. So Nalia is getting to wear that, or gets to wear that rather. And I think I like. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. So here, what I want to do, I'm going to put the Field of Reflection on Animan for this upcoming fight, because Animan is going to be our man to deal with Little Miss Ilisera. So, without further ado, let's get to the fight. Oh, here's something else that sucks. So it's been probably weeks since we defeated Irenicus, or maybe even longer. Who the hell knows? And it did not. It didn't reset our spells. It didn't give us a rest. So apparently these sons of bitches haven't slept. You believe that? But we're gonna make do. We're not gonna rest here. We are gonna make do. Because we, as you can see, we still have a bunch of spells and whatnot. We don't have a bunch of spells on them when Jesus Christ.
How can I help?
All right, we'll make do.
Yes,
Anyway, let's get to it.
fine.
Prophecy ere turn. Corion's ward hath come. Crossroad of past, present, and future. The one foreseen, the one foretold. That which hath passed is ne'er truly gone. History repeats, though mortals choose not to see. War and bloodshed be not new to the realms. A god that once hath been, may be once again. Armies march and cities burn, the rivers froth with tainted blood. The corpses of those born not innocent feed the inferno of boiling hate. False servant deceived, 5 led down a false path. A hidden traitor lurks in thy midst. The servant of Bhaal knows death and destruction, the face of an ally, the mask of a foe. The children of Bhaal bring death to the land. They slaughter each other and feed their father. Death and betrayal walk together. A river of tainted blood doth not cleanse. The storm approaches. We speak no more.
Okay. So here, the game is going to give us a minute to buff. In a second, it'll pop up with a message saying that basically prepare yourself for a fight. So we're not going to wait for that message, and instead what we're going to do is, as I said, throwing a ball with SCS and Ascension is no freaking joke. So I'm going to take every fight about as seriously as I can and basically do every buff that I can
What you want?
instead of kind of doing it haphazard like I did in Shadows of Am. And Phallic, you go ahead, drink one of those. And we are going to put an Elemental Swarm down here. Give me Simulacrum Nalia. Aerie, give me... Here's our contingencies for Aerie. They are all... Like I said, they're all buffs. So, since we have limited time on our buffs, we got to do this quickly. We are just going to use our sequencers here. Simulacrum Nalia can move up to the front. I'm going to put Sanctuary on Aerie. Animan, give me Entropy Shield. Emwin, you're fine.
This sparrow is ready to fly.
Air
At your
Delise.
command, of course.
Protection from abjuration. Nalia. Mirror image. You're fine. Simulacrum, Nalia. Give me a haste on everybody. And then over here, with our greater earth elemental, we are going to put down spike stones here because I'm 90% sure this is where their mage is going to spawn. We'll do interrupts. I think this is where their cleric spawns. There should be a fighter here, a berserker here. Elisera will be here. And every one of them has all kinds of potions and everything that SCS allows them to have. And again, once they pop up, I'll explain more on that. So we'll get the spike stones down over here. And hopefully that'll help for interrupting their mage. Anything else I want? I don't think so.
Aye, my raven.
Air Delise.
Potentis.
Phallic, give me Armor of Faith. Alright, we got Entropy Shield and try to get a True Sight off. I think we missed the message where it warns you that an enemy approaches. Nope. Yeah, someone approaches, and judging from what the spirits have said, it is likely that there is hostile intent. You must prepare yourselves for battle. So it gives us a minute, just a very small window to buff. Yeah, there you go. Did I get my True Sight off? Okay, that is where the mage spawns.
I have found you at last. It was an effort to track you down in these woods. Too many old wards for my liking. But here you are.
And just who are you?
All that you need to know is that I've been given the pleasure of ending your life. I may yet mount your head on the wall with all the other ball spawn I've killed. I haven't decided.
Well, you could try if you like. I am no ordinary ball spawn. I know. Neither am I.
Not all of us have been wandering Faerun like witless cattle, like you and pathetic Imoen and so many others of Bhaal's blood. Some of us have far greater aspirations. The time of Alondo's prophecy has come. These rhyming ghosts here should have told you that much. Great things are afoot, and your contribution will be your death. It has already been decided. I am Elisera the Quick, child of Bhaal, and I have been chosen to perform this deed. You cannot resist us.
So others have said. They're dead now.
We shall see.
Okay, here we go. So, as you can see, the Ascension mod makes this a lot more difficult. And we are going to start with this guy back here.
You might just make it home alive.
He is these are all they're just named Black Reaver. But he's not resistant to anything. This guy's the weakest one of all of them, so Thallic and Air Delise are going to take care of him quickly. He uses a +3 scimitar, no big deal. He's going to get beat down quick. Next, you have a Conjurer, and he's level 18. He is, depending on what his pre-buffs are, we'll see about if we can use Acid or Abidazim's Horde Wilting to finish him off. But he's a mage. He's not going to be underestimated. He is going to cast level 9 stuff. So he's definitely going to be a priority to keep him interrupted as much as humanly possible. Which, to start, which is why we put the spikes on the ground from our greater earth elemental. This guy is pretty nasty. He is a berserker. We're gonna try to blind him before he can do anything, so we can keep him out of the fight. So Emowyn's gonna deal with this guy right off the bat. So with
What is your will?
Phallic, let's get a. We'll do a power attack to try to stun this fighter up here. You can pause and anytime I pull something up, feel free to pause and read. But we'll do a power attack on him. Herr Delis will do a whirlwind attack. And Animan, okay, you've got the shield. And we did get our true sight off, that's great. So Animan is going to be the one to be dealing with Ilisera, so we'll send him down there. Emowyn, we are going to try to blind the Ogre Berserker to keep him out of the fight, at least at the beginning. And lastly, we have a level 16 Cleric. Nothing special. This is where our elementals are going to focus. Their attention is on to this Cleric. So a big one is this Fire Elemental, because the Fire Elemental has the Shroud of Flame ability. It deals 2d6 points of fire damage every round, and gouts of flame erupt from the burning target, causing creatures within 5 feet to take 1d4 points of fire damage from the flames. Anyone hit by the victim's flames must also make a save versus spell to avoid contracting the Shroud of Flames themselves. The Shroud of Flames dissipates if the caster and the target are no longer in the same area. But what it doesn't mention here is this will interrupt spell casting, which is great. So we're going to be putting that on the Cleric. We're going to start off with a Smashing Wave, which it deals 40-10 points of crushing damage. In addition, struck creatures may either be stunned, 25% chance, knocked unconscious, 5% chance for 2 rounds. Damage is reduced by half, and they won't get the stun or knockback effect to make their save. But, Crashing Wave on you. We're also going to put the Whirlwind attack, or the Whirlwind. It causes slashing damage and crushing damage. Puts Tornado on the ground. It's not that big a deal. But they have to make a save versus breath weapon or be stunned. Anything with 2 or fewer hit dice are automatically killed. That's no big deal. But whatever we could do to interrupt her. This will hit our own elementals, but it's not the end of the world. And then we'll send the Earth Elemental over to the Cleric. Simulacrum Nalia, you will do an Acid Rain. But we're going to wait on that. I want to make sure this guy's casting before we cast Acid Rain. So, on to Ilisera, the big one.
Stand in my way.
Ilisera. Ascension changes her a lot, and there's a lot to say about her. Ilisera has access to hardiness, and hardiness, for those who don't know, calling upon the hidden reserves of the strength during times of danger, a warrior can use hardiness ability to gain 40% resistance to all physical forms of damage. The ability lasts 1 round for every 2 levels of the warrior. Okay? So she has access to 2 of those. Keep that in mind.
It will be done.
And you can see she has 246 hit points. She has 9 attacks, or 9.5 attacks per round, which is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. She does have the ethereal status, what we talked about earlier with.
What?
Oops, I moved him. She has the ethereal status, which gives her the immunities. It lasts for 3 rounds, and she gets 3 of these. Gives her improved invisibility, which makes her harder to hit. It makes her immune to all magical and non-magical weapons up to +5. And she gets 50% damage resistant to everything. And then she'll get another 40% if she uses hardiness. And then she's immune to abjuration, conjuration, enchantment, evocation, divination. Ridiculous. She can see invisible. She is 50% magic resistant. She's 100% poison resistant. And I believe she's got a +5 movement speed modifier. And the other thing too is she can detect who's got the shield of reflection that bounces back all arrows, because she, despite being a warrior, a fighter, she is a ranged character. Okay? All of her weapons strike as a +5. And you can take a look at all of her immunities here. So she's immune to stun, she's immune to poison, petrification, paralyze, level drain. She can't be feared, charmed, held. She can't be imprisoned. She can't be killed with instant death spells. What else? Can't be paralyzed. She can't be rendered unconscious. None of that. She's immune to Sphere of Chaos. She can't be polymorphed. That's pretty crazy. But what makes her incredibly dangerous is she has 3 different bows that can't be dropped. They're specific to her. Her first bow that she uses, and these are all short bows, it's like Carsamir. It has a dispel effect. And it also has a 3-round miscast magic effect, which means it's a 40% chance to fail your spells. And her arrows will kill summoned creatures and illusions. The next bow that she has, and I believe this is one she uses the most, her second bow deals 10% or +10 magic damage on top of the damage it already does. And if you don't save versus a polymorph versus a -4, you will be stunned for 2 rounds and slowed for 4 rounds, and it'll negate any haste on the target. And her third bow, on top of her regular damage, it deals an additional 2d10 magic damage, and if you don't make a save versus death with a -4 penalty, you're going to take that full damage. If you do make the save, you take half that damage. But it has a wing buffet, which is basically a knockback, and it can render you unconscious for a few rounds. Or, I'm sorry, not rounds, seconds. So, a knockback and knocks you unconscious for like 3 or 4 seconds. Her other bow can stun and slow you, as well as deal additional 10 magic damage, plus her regular damage, and she gets 9.5 attacks per round. Her other bow will dispel you, and it'll work too, trust me, and then put miscast magic. So but she can detect who casts physical mirror. Anything that could reflect arrows back, she knows who has that, so she won't target them. So this is why we since Aerie was in the front, we put her in a sanctuary. So Aerie is going to move back.
I can assist you.
You're going to move back. So I want all my women to the back, and we're going to move everybody but Animan back here, and we're going to put Animan on her. So we're going to... Sorry that took so long, but we're going to start the fight now. Okay. Power attack went off. And Hair Delice's whirlwind attack, so we're going to get right on top of that guy. Smashing Wave went out. Alright, Power Word Blind went out. He is blinded. That's awesome. Now we are going to move Emowyn back ASAP. The Whirlwind went out. Shroud of Flame went out. Fortunately, she saved. So all of you attack the Black Reaver, or the Cleric. And so now that Animan's going to be up in Ilisara's face, she knows not to attack him because it'll bounce all of those arrows back at her, and she'll get hit by her own arrows. This is going to encourage her to use her melee attack, which is just her bare fist. So this is what we want, and we are keeping everybody else back. Oh, this guy got stunned from Thalic's power attack, so he should die in a second. And Animan attack Elisera. Alright. Free buffs are out. And Elisera used... Okay, Elisera used her etherealness, I believe. So we won't... And she's got non-detection, so we won't be able to detect her. And there's contingency, so there's 2 Hackashars. So we want a death spell to get rid of that. He's gonna die in a second. Alright, so the mage has spell turning, that's no big deal. He can be hit by acid, he can be hit by Abidazim's Horde Wilting, so...
How can I help?
Simulacrum Mario. We're gonna cast Acid Rain on top of the 2 Black Reavers here.
I'll help however I can.
Ari, you keep your round open. Looks like remove magic went out on Phallic. A triple remove magic, that's gonna be very effective. Oh boy. Yeah, that just worked. Wow! Phallic resisted. Hair Delise couldn't be dispelled. That only hit 2. Unbelievable. That was a hell of a save. So Hair Delise, I am going to cast Sound Burst to try to get deafness on the mage. Death spell went out. Did we kill... Oh man, I think we killed the... I think my elementals took care of the cleric. Spellcasting failure, that was due to... one of the elementals, so that was the cleric. Okay.
Speak.
Okay, so that death was the cleric, and then Hair Delise and Phallic will finish off this fighter up here. This guy, I don't know what you're thinking. Okay, so that's 2 of them down. Phallic, Hair Delise, get on him. Emowyn, I want a secret word on this mage to get rid of his spell turning. We'll cast Vitriolic Sphere on this Black Reaver with Simulacrum Nalia. And then... Okay, there she is. There's Elisera.
No doubt.
Oh, we got a time stop off. That's bad. Greater Malison. That's no big deal. Dark Planetar. God damn it.
Hope I remember what the forests in the north look like from the sky. They're so majestic.
So we'll do a Greater Whirlwind attack with Phallic. We will do an offensive spin. I want my women away
Good to go.
from that Dark Planetar.
Give me a tap.
Gentlemen, kill this thing quickly. Okay, Planetar is dead. Animan's handling Ilicera. Animan, give me a drop on Holy Might. Ari, give me a Purge Invisibility, please. That didn't work. So that's not going to work. Nalia, I want an Acid Rain right there. Gentlemen, need you to
Very
move.
well.
I'm ready for anything.
An Acid Rain right there. Okay, that made him fail.
I have things to do. One not being sitting on me double talking to you.
And a quick remove magic should get rid of that shield. Didn't work. Animan, you alright down there?
I have things to do.
Alright,
One not
so
being sitting on me
there
double
goes all
talking
his
to you.
protections, so everyone kill this son of a bitch. And Animan, all you, buddy. There goes another ethereal. So you can
will
see-
not stand in my way.
She's 90% resistant to all physical damage, 50% resistant to all magical and elemental, so... But with Animan right up in her face, there's just not a whole lot she can do. She won't dare fire those bows at Animan. She knows better. And that's that.
Indeed.
But what's great is she drops Paws of the Cheetah. That is our last Paws of the Cheetah that we need. That gives us 5. 1 for everybody. And here we are just gonna take this to sell.
If you
And that is how I like to handle the Ilicera fight. Keeps it nice and clean. But believe me, that fight can go sideways super quickly.
simple enough.
I am pleased at the progress that this ill-conceived group has made.
All right,
I had
it
not
is
thought
way
such a thing
past the
possible.
time I like to keep, and I got to get to work. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. And as always, if you have any comments, suggestions, tips, especially stories, let me know in the comment section below, and I will hope to see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching.